I don't need to hide the fact that I'm a sexual being until I'm married. And I can celebrate who I am sexually without sinning, without...
Tune in. Get ready.
Shut up and sit down.
Are you ready? This is Yema, and it's time for the sexual revolution. And I am your sexual revolutionist. We are changing the conversation about sex and sexuality from the bar to the church.
Time for our generation's version of the sexual revolution. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Yema, your sexual revolutionist, and I hope you watched the previous videos. In those videos, I talk a little bit about why I'm doing this, a little bit of my story, but if you don't want to click back, I'm going to tell you a little bit right now. My name is Yema, and I am passionate about people knowing the true beauty about sex. I am passionate about sexual freedom, and it's probably not what you think it is. From if you are drenched in this society and this culture and the way that we talk about and interact with sexuality is completely and totally wrong. And I don't understand how we can keep doing the same thing over and over. We know that there's something wrong with it, but we don't stop. But then again, we don't really know how to stop. There's no examples around us. I mean, we have the Megan Good and Devon Franklin. We have, if you're a Christian, you probably follow Heather Lindsay and her husband, who waited till their wedding day to even kiss. There are many other examples. If you're really looking for it, you'll find it. But my idea of sexual freedom isn't just stopping the behavior if you're a single person. And even if you're married, I'm not married, I am a single woman, you know, okay? And I am living out my understanding and my belief from what God has shown me about my sexuality, the beauty of my sexuality, and how just because I'm a Christian doesn't mean I need to cover up. It doesn't, I mean, not cover up in the sense of like wear clothing that covers everything, but I don't need to hide the fact that I'm a sexual being until I'm married. And I can celebrate who I am sexually without sinning, without being immoral. I can celebrate that God made me a sexual being. I can love that. And what my heart is, and this message, this channel isn't for everyone. I'm hoping and believing that those who are watching this is, you are somebody who's tired. You're somebody who has experienced a bit more than you wanted to sexually and have been heartbroken. You've been broken just in your identity, just really not understanding. You're in a relationship after relationship. You probably got to the point where you're forget it. I don't need people. I don't need relationships. I just need to get my needs met. And you've been doing that, and as a woman, it's not working. The previous video I talked about that there is no such thing as strings attached. No such thing as no strings attached. I had to think about that. There's no such thing as sex without strings attached. And the fact that we believe that, the fact that we go on TV and you're watching these people, they fall in love, it's a 30-minute segment, and so in 5 minutes they're rolling around kissing on the bed, and then we go in our normal life and we're walking things out, and we don't understand that show is a show. They're actors. Real life doesn't happen that way. But because media influences us, the things that we see here constantly influence our behavior, and so we take what we see on TV, even with little kids' innocent shows, Boy Meets World and all those different things that I grew up on. I'm an 80s baby. You meet him, you get all googly-eyed with him, and then you're making out with him, and we just progress so quickly from infatuation to being in the bed. And we don't understand that that's not how it's supposed to be. And I think part of it is we do a little bit understand, we feel it, that maybe this is not so right, but you're looking at it on TV, you're kind of probably looking around in your friendships and you're seeing that they're living it the same way, and you're not really understanding how to make that stop. You're tired, you're worn out, you're just like, maybe some of you are just like, I'm done. I don't want another relationship. I don't probably want to see another man ever again in my life. And you're just tired. You're tired of the way things are. And I'm telling you, sis, that is not by coincidence. That is not by accident. That is reality and truth rising up on the inside of you. Your eyes are clearing up. You're waking up to the fact that the way that you have been fed about sexuality, the way that you have been told sex is supposed to be, is not true. Okay? And what this video is, I'm going to be talking about, that's a little bit about my passion. I am really passionate about sexual liberty because I really understood it wrong when I was growing up. And between the ages of 17 and 25, I thought I was sexually liberated, and I wasn't. I was in sexual bondage. And because I thought promiscuity was sexual liberty. And if you really are someone who prescribed, as I did, to feminism and that women's liberation and all of that, it was all about not being forced to wait till marriage to be sexually active. It's about not being monogamous. It's about being able to use birth control. It's about being able to use condoms. And that was you being free, because now I put safeguards around the dangers of me being sexually active so that I can be free. And let's think about that. If we have to put that many boundaries around something to keep the behavior safe, it's probably not safe. It's like when you go to the zoo and there's a crocodile behind a gate, and I'm not saying that, I think there's some child just passed away, possibly they were like eaten by alligators. That's not related to this, but the reason why they have put boundaries behind that wild animal is because if they just let it happen, it will kill you. And that's the same thing. The reason why we have all these things, all this messaging that we get from high school about safe sex, is because there's no way that sex can be safe outside of what God ordained and made it to be. He made us sexual beings to be sexual in a covenant, committed relationship that is supposed to be for a lifetime. You don't need safeguards around that. Marriage is the safeguard. It's the safe place that you put it in. And so the fact that we need to be saying safe sex and all of that, it should be a clue to us, but it's not, because we're indoctrinated and brainwashed into believing that. So we have all of these boundaries around it because we are trying to keep something safe, and it's not supposed to be safe the way that we're doing it. And so I want to challenge you today. And my heart is to encourage you, my heart is to inspire you, but my heart also is to challenge you. If you are a female watching this, and even a male, and you are still sexually active and you're a single person, I'm not telling you to stop the behavior, because like I said earlier in the previous video, it's not about our behavior. It's about what we truly believe. And what I'm going to challenge you from this video is that you sit down and you write out what you really believe about sexuality. Answer these questions. What is sexuality? What do I believe sexuality looks like in my life? What has it looked like? What is my real understanding about safe sex? What does that even mean to have safe sex? And I know you've all heard, it's not corny, but it's kind of corny if you're kind of in that life and it doesn't really make sense. People say there's no condom for your heart. But I want you to write down and journal, how has the way that you have thought about sexuality really hurt you? How has it damaged you? How many nights have you cried because you've done this the wrong way? I'm telling you now, I've been celibate for 6 years now, and those first couple of years, it was so great waking up and not worrying about what I did the night before, not concerned about who's gonna be on my phone, texting me craziness, and trusting my body that it was whole, it was together, it had not been violated in any way, and just walking. That's freedom, when your heart is at peace and you're not having to think about that, you're not having to worry about that, you're not ready for the weekend so you can put your freakum dress on and go get a drink at the bar and go find someone to make you feel beautiful. That you're just beautiful as you are because God made you beautiful. That is freedom. And I can tell you, 6 years in, I am way more happy. I am way more content in this way. Waiting till marriage, waiting for God to bring that person that I can commit my life to enjoy not just sexuality, but a lifetime of fun and adventure and freedom and being able to be sexually liberated in my marriage and not hiding myself and doing all these other weird things that sometimes Christians, think that sexuality is, and it's not. It's a beautiful thing. God didn't make anything that was bad. He made us, and he said we were very good. And part of that very good is that we are sexual beings. We don't have to hide that as Christians. You don't have to hide the fact that you are a sexual being or not talk about it or whisper about it. You need to whisper about it. God's not shy. God's not a prude. And when you're journaling about those questions that I put in, if you have more questions, go ahead and put them in the comment box. And if you want to share a little bit, you definitely can reach out to me at supernatural sexualfreedom@gmail.com. You can join the Facebook group at Sex, God, and You, and just share about it. Just talk to us and let us know. There's women on there, and we talk about all different topics. And just let us know, what did God speak to you in that area? What did he say to you? Because have that conversation with him. He's not shy. And I'm telling you, when I first was committing my life to the Lord and just saying, yes, God, I trust you. I'm gonna change the way I think about things, because if I change my behavior but the way I think about it hasn't changed, I'm going to end up doing the same exact thing that I did before and then feeling really bad about it. So I really I learned to focus on changing my heart and changing my beliefs about the way I am supposed to act out my sexuality. Act out sounds like a really bad word or statement to say about sexuality, but just express the way I was supposed to express my sexuality and the wrong thoughts and understanding I had about what sexual liberty really was. It really is. So that is it for this video, ladies. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. I will be posting this on my author page as well. I do have a book coming out. It's called You Don't Have to Fake It with God. And women, you know what I'm talking about. So God is awesome. And when we do things his way, it's the most exciting and liberating and enjoyable experience, because that's just who he is. He's a God of pleasure, and he's pleased by who we are and us expressing our humanity in the way that he has called us to express it. So thank you so much for watching. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye. This is